Hello, and welcome to Wyverns and Weirdos Fathomless, D&D Podcast set in the World of Fierlor. I am your Dungeon Master Darby, and joining me as always are Eddie playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, Mitch playing Neris, Joe playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, Jake playing the Fishman, and Laura playing 𝗔𝗦𝗧. Let's jump into it. Where we last left off, the Fishman had a vision as the party was setting off for their next mission, in which he was in a vast ocean as part of a battalion of similarly armored figures that were absolutely decimated by an immense dragon turtle. During the first morning of travel, the party were mostly dealing with the storm that was brewing and raging by the late morning. And just as they were kind of starting to get into the swing of navigating the storm, the Fishman felt a presence, and upon investigating it, saw a figure in the waters in the back of the ship. At which point, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 revealed itself, a dragon turtle the size of a small island, and it is currently chasing down the Polaris. And so we rolled initiative. Top of the round, Fishman.
Fishman is going to take some rope from his inventory, from his bag, and he's going to anchor himself to the railing.
Okay.
And then he is going to, again, yell out in Draconic, "Why do I feel nothing but rage when I see you? And what have I done to you?"
Roll me a dexterity check to tie this knot.
18. Not
18.
bad.
Okay.
Hang on, is it possible to cast Hunters?
Yes. Yes. Next is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
He would have already been drawing his pistols upon seeing this enormous creature, and just be try to aim at whatever area that he can shoot. I know it has an enormous shell as well, so quite difficult to aim around that at a non-shelled section. And just be like, "Hey, boss, we firing on this thing?"
If it can distract it enough that we can get away safe. The first priority is getting away. But fire at it if it slows it down.
Alright, I'll see what it does. And he's gonna fire 3 shots.
Okay.
The first one is a dirty 20 to hit.
Dirty 20 misses. So you shoot, it actually hits the shell and just makes no dent in it whatsoever.
Alright, okay. I'll try again, and might do a trick shot to do a dead-eye shot to gain advantage. I roll a 1 immediately, and a dirty 20, so that's going to miss anyway.
Yeah.
And then finally, another shot is the bonus action. That's a 23 to hit.
23 does hit.
Ooh, okay. Alrighty, so that is 3 points of damage.
Okay. Now it is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 of the Everdeep's turn. He's just going to do a simple multi-attack. Partly on the ship, partly on Fishman. The first part of the attack is a bite. which will be on the ship. That is a 28. 10 points of piercing damage, and I rolled really poorly, 2 points of lightning damage. Then it does 2 claw attacks, 1 against the ship and 1 against a fishman, because you are that close that he can target fishman. So the first claw attack is going to be a 24 against the ship. And that is going to be 20 damage that the ship takes. And then the other, I rolled quite poorly, but I think this still gets your AC, Fishman, 21. So you take 14 points of slashing damage from this claw attack. So that's 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧's go. Tibble.
He is going to rush over to the helm and to Tim. God, what orders is he going to make? I just spent all that time taking down notes of where everyone is. I think he's going to say to Tim, get down to care and tell them that we need suppressing fire. And then get back up here as soon as you can. In case anything happens to me, I'll steer for now.
Okay, so with the dash action, he's able to get below deck.
Yeah, perfect. And 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is going to call out, like bellow out, all hands on deck, we're leaving. And he is going to use his action to sail at the helm and steer them forward as fast as he can. 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is behind where 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is now, right? 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is not at the part of the ship where the ballista is.
Yes.
Cool. 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧's going to action surge.
Okay.
So he's going to move 60 feet forward with steering.
Yeah.
He's going to action surge to move forward again and steer the ship 90 degrees so that the cannons are facing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
Normally, those would be 2 separate move actions, and you can typically only take 1 in a turn.
He's action surging.
With an action surge, I will allow it. Because 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is moving at such a fast reaction pace when he's action surging that it shouldn't necessarily be possible, but I will definitely allow it. You know this ship like the back of your hand.
Yeah. And he's going to use his bonus action to rally Fishman. So he's going to use one of his superiority dice to give Fishman 10 HP, basically. And he's like, lad, you better know what you're doing. And that is, pretty nice, 10 temp HP for Fishman. But he would have said, lad, you better know what you're doing. Get it off our backs.
So next is 𝗔𝗏, who's below deck. You felt the ship shake as if something massive hit it.
Yeah, and probably at that exact point, like they would sort of like stumble, and then like their eyes would like shunt between like that white blue and then like a red for a moment, and then back again, and then back again, and then back again. Then he like 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 would run down deck and shout orders, and 𝗔𝗏 kind of like turns around. So I think 𝗔𝗏's a bit walking towards him, and then all kind of going back upstairs again, and then 𝗔𝗏 is kind of just like, the storm, what's happening again? Sort of like for again another moment they clutch at like where their head would be, and then they start to move.
So back up to the deck of the ship?
Yeah, but just standing at the doorway,
okay.
I guess.
Alright. Next is 𝗖𝗏s.
𝗖𝗏s is mildly uncomfortable. 𝗖𝗏s has moved below deck to have a conversation with 𝗔𝗏, and then the ship started like breaking, which is not ideal. So Neris starts to make his way up to the top of the deck. Hears the order from the captain. Hears the panic in the captain's voice. Would there be any way he could hear, not necessarily the words, but the feeling of this creature talking in Draconic?
Insight check, please.
Yeah, 18.
18. There is malice, but also a little bit of something else that you can't quite place your finger on. Simultaneously in complete contrast, but at the same time deeply intertwined with the emotion of malice, but you're not quite sure what it is.
Oh. How far away are the cannons from where Neris is? Neris being below deck.
So you weren't too far from the actual entry-exit point when this happened. So you're probably about 15 feet from the nearest cannon.
Whoever is operating the cannons.
Yeah, so probably, similar-ish. 15 to 30, depending on which, like, whether you're talking the closer to or the further to.
Neris is going to have a moment where there's almost just pure panic. And then he's going to go up to the closest porthole, have a look outside. Does he recognize what this creature is? I'm assuming he's never seen one before, because he read about one.
Yeah, roll me an Arcana check.
It's a 15.
15. I'd say you've never read even about ones as large as this, and it seems to be beyond the ones that you've read about in any textbooks. But this appears to be some sort of incredibly powerful form of a dragon turtle.
Neris is just going to resort to what he knows, what he's comfortable with, what he's done in the past. Not comfortable, but what he's done in the past, and just help load on the cannons. That's all he's going to do.
Okay.
He's not going to talk, he's not going to do anything, he's just going to assist on the cannon.
So, next, we are back to the top of initiative with the Fishman.
Would Care have been able to take their action
Yes.
with the cannon fire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, can I get 2 people to volunteer to roll me cannon attacks? It is
+6.
a +6.
Cool. That's a 25.
25. That will hit. That is going to be a lot of damage. Actually, no, Neris. Mitch, since you are down by the cannons, can you roll the other cannon roll shot?
At 16.
16. Okay. So the other misses.
55 points of damage.
Alright. That does look like it's done, like, a nasty bit of damage to it. Meanwhile, Fishman.
Did it respond to his prompt?
It probably would have.
It was something, why am I angry at you? Or why do I feel angry? Something, what have I done?
Our fates are intertwined.
And yet you obviously seek to destroy that. I have no knowledge of this, and I'm curious. Why end it? You could obviously do it in an instant. Issue is, I'm tied.
Yes.
I'm anchored. Now, I was just wondering, is this... I'm not sure logistically if this works, but is there like a rail that we could latch onto? Or is it...
Yeah, you've got
put
this.
it in between 2 like pollards and now I'm wedged in there?
You would probably be wedged in there, but I would imagine you would probably... you would have enough foresight to kind of probably give yourself enough rope to at least be able to move around the poop deck.
He will cast Fog Cloud, for what it's worth, on our position, but just behind the boat.
Okay, so creating a fog between the ship and the turtle.
For what it's worth.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That'll mean that you can use whatever head start you get from this to greater extent, because it won't see where you're going. All right, that's an action spell, is it?
I believe it is.
Yes. Okay. So unless you have a bonus action, it's now
That's it.
Alton's go.
Yeah, so I guess, seeing the fog cover our location, he's like preparing to shoot again, but thinks better on it. He also would have seen Fishman get slashed by this big creature, and probably would have been like weighing up whether to heal or whether to shoot. So he makes this decision and he's going to see if he can go over to Fishman. I'm assuming he can reach him.
So 5,
Stop the stairs.
10, 15, 20, 25. So yes.
Ah, nice.
Don't even have to dash.
Keep away from that thing. And get out some bandages and start wrapping them around his wounds. So that's using the healer feat. So it's 13 points of healing.
He'll look at you with determined eyes, saying, "I."
Does he accept the
Thank
healing?
you. He accepts the healing. Absolutely.
Okay.
He does also need the healing. Yeah. So, and then he's going to turn back towards the smoke. He might. I guess he's already. It's not his turn, so he's not really going to benefit from it. But he'll also say to Alton, "Just get ready for when it comes."
All right. I can't fish you out of that thing, so be careful.
Okay.
He'll just move 5 feet away from Fishman
Okay.
to back up. There you go.
All right. It is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧's go, and as it can't really see what's going on, it's just going to lash out with its steam breath. So this coming through the fog. Now, luckily you're far enough away that the ship is mostly unaffected by it, but the ship itself and so the ship itself and Fishman are going to need to make dexterity saving throws, please. I will ask Tibble, because he is at the helm, to make the dex save on behalf of the ship.
And not as good as I would like it to be. It's a 15.
15, yeah. That is unfortunately not a success. Fishman?
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I was happier with the dex save, but now due to Constitution is 14.
That is going to do 33 points of fire damage to both the Fishman and the ship. It is, because it is this big jet of air, essentially. Big jet of hot air. It is going to move the ship, but because it is perpendicular, I think I'm going to get everyone to roll me a dexterity saving throw to avoid being knocked prone as the ship is rocketed 60 feet away from the dragon.
That's a 4 for Rue. They are very tall and spindly. And so you just hear this loud thwack as their feet completely knock out from under themselves.
That's a 7 for Neris. He is average height, but also spindly.
That's a 10 for Alton. He is very short and spindly.
Yeah.
Tibble got a 14.
And Fishman?
That is a 20.
Okay, so I think Alton, Tibble, and the Fishman managed to stay standing. It's not too difficult. Your kind would have me sealed away. And next, it is Tibble's go.
Tibble, my babe, my sweetheart, my darling, he is going to turn the ship 90 degrees and move forward 60 feet.
Okay.
Please and thank you. Tibble is going to use his bonus action to rally the Fishman. Lad, I have no idea what you're saying, but good job, I guess. And that's not as good, unfortunately. That's only 7 temp HP.
Fishman will just simply reply, more cannons.
He might actually call out before he turned the ship to fire on the cannons.
They will have to. The cannons on that side will have to reload this round, unfortunately.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
That's fine. I guess Chibble is just going to shout general orders for any of the deck crew to be assisting at the sails, and the ballista can't be shot backwards, can it? It has to be shot from the front.
It can probably turn, but it's going to take, I would say, a round per 90 degrees. So it would take 2 rounds to turn it all the way around, like to turn it backwards. The concern would be shooting through the sails, so it would be a shot at disadvantage.
Flirt, if you get a clear shot with the ballista, take it. Only a clear shot, though. And gives her the free rein as a junior officer to turn the ballista in any which way she deems fit as the ship maneuvers. That's the end of his turn.
Yeah. All right. Next is Rue, who's below decks at the moment.
They were already quite jumpy, I guess, trying to make their way upstairs, and then like just everything gets this like huge rush of steam bursting through everything, I guess. And they scramble to sort of stand up again. Like, but which way? What are we doing? I must help. And then they're gonna forge on up deck, I suppose. Like the lights of their eyes shuttering a lot of different shades.
So it is half your movement to
way
get.
up.
You have 10 feet of movement to work with here.
Oh, okay. Can I see Fishman from here?
You can probably get to the base of one of the staircases. You're probably tall enough that you can see Fishman out of the corner of your eye coming up here.
Yeah, so Rue does like a really quick kind of like sweep around to see where everyone is. And then the lights of the eyes hone in on Fishman, who is both in a precarious situation and also he used to be bleeding. Again, they look the city has a very distressed manner about them, but he will skittering on the deck now because, again, very tall and the deck is probably a lot better than it was before. He tries to sort of start making his way towards Fishman.
Okay. No, you could use your action to dash to actually get up onto the poop deck as well. You wouldn't be able to do anything per se, but you'd just about be able to get to the Fishman.
Excellent.
Right. Neris, you are prone inside the ship.
The nurse has been knocked off his feet.
And not in a romantic way.
He has been hit his head on floorboard, and there's a tiny little trickle of blood that's coming down just sort of past his eye. Sits himself up and he shakes his head a little bit and he looks around, and as the crew are starting to reload the cannons, and there's a little bit of water and steam just kind of coming in through some of the portholes, and the noise of that cannon shot still just ringing in Neris's ears, just this incessant ringing. And there's this moment of almost calm that crosses Neris as he sits himself up and then raises himself to one knee, and without looking at any of the crew, he just says, loud enough for them to hear, but he's not screaming, "Reload all of your cannons. They are to fire again, but do not fire until my mark." He is using his turn to essentially wait until there is some form of clear shot or anything.
Yeah.
He is given the crew to hold unless Neris gives them a very clear signal, and no one else is to enter this room.
Back to the top of initiative with the Fishman.
Fishman's gonna yell out again. My kind is dead for all I know. It is wrong to blame a whole people for your misfortune. However, I believe I can blame you, and only you, for my pain, my nightmares, and this curse upon my life. I don't know why I am baneful. I don't know why you attack these innocents, but I sense it is in your nature. I have seen your discriminate destruction, yet not. Remember, you intend to be this beast of chaos, lackluster in pride and honor, is cowardice. Fishman will look to Rue and say, I'll try and buy us some more. As he will leave his rope if possible. Is that possible without utilizing an action?
I'll allow it with your bonus action because it is a knot that you tied.
That's fine. And he'll make his way to the base of the mast if he can.
Yeah. Technically, yes. Technically doable.
He'd like to take a bracing stance and cast Gust of Wind on sails.
Okay.
It creates a strong wind 60 feet long and 10 feet wide from me in a direction I choose for spell's duration to be directed at the sails. So his intention is to give extra draft sails.
Yeah. I will
and
say...
because
yeah.
I'm guessing the force doesn't come at any expense of like pulling in air, I'm hoping that does help.
You know, I will... Is this a cantrip or is this a leveled spell?
This is a leveled spell.
Level 2 spell. So I feel justified in saying that this will double the speed of the ship for the duration of this spell. So that is your turn. Alton.
Alton kind of like nods approvingly, seeing Fishman turning away from this creature, but he'll stay in position and keep his pistols up aimed in its general direction, and he's going to hold an action to shoot at it if it comes through the fog.
Okay. Next is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. He's going to dash. This is also Alton. You can take your shots.
Oh, awesome. Ooh, alrighty. That was a 27 for my first one.
Yeah.
That is 11 points of piercing damage. And for my second one, so that's a 24, so that will also hit. And that is 8 points of piercing damage.
Dialogue check.
Yes.
Your forces would see me doomed, Commander, and you call me the cowardice for seeking you out.
Then we go to Tipple's go.
He's going to move 120 feet.
Yeah.
And within that 120 feet, he is going to rotate the boat 90 degrees again to give those cannons a free shot. As far as the cannons go, that is up to Neris when that comes around. But he is going to, for his bonus action, he's going to call out over to Rue. Rue, thank you, lad, for joining us. Any way you can help would be appreciated. And he's going to give Rue a rally as well, which Rue gets 5 temp HP.
Next it is Rue's turn.
Alrighty, so Rue kind of was running towards Fishman, seeing him injured. And then pretty much just saw Fishman be like, anyway, and then kind of like run away again as well. So Rue just like, oh. And then they hear like Tibble calling out as well, like, of course, what should I do? It's raining very hard. And I guess they're gonna try to tie the rope to something. Since they realize like they can't grab Fishman in time, they're gonna grab that and try to tie it, or at least just hold on to it.
Okay, roll me a dexterity check.
So that is 15.
15. Okay, so you're fumbling with the rope.
Yeah.
You manage to get the knot, but it's frantic, and with the final pull, there's a sort of animatic spark that comes out of your hands. I get you rolling a percentile.
Yep. And like the color of Rue's eyes start flickering again. That is an 84.
That spark of animatic energy blasts out and goes dark as everyone within 30 feet of you takes 5 points of necrotic damage.
Ooh, so Rue's eyes like shunt from like that bit flickering to just that full solid red as they let go of the rope, and the energy just blasts out from the crevices of their armor, and yeah, necrotic energy attack.
So that is, for reference, that is Alton, that is Tibble, that is the Fishman, that is Tim, and that is one member of the crew.
And Root makes this sort of noise of like distress, some kind of strange wailing noise. Just for a moment as that burst happens. Immediately afterwards, marine layer activates, so just like a surge of like heavily obscuring fog just steams out from those cracks where the magic kind of just poured out and just floods the whole area in a 20-foot radius. And heavily obscured, so all you would see would be this red, like glowing pinpricks of light.
Yeah. Alright. Next is Neris's go.
Neris is going to sort of stand and kind of like leaning over with one hand up on the sort of support mast in the middle of this room, kind of looking out the porthole. He's just going to wait for the perfect time and then very quietly just say, fire. And with fire, both kill.
So you rolled successful.
I rolled a natural 20.
So that is 8d10 plus 80 damage.
115.
115 points of damage. I'm gonna say, for the crit, it knocks it back 60 feet.
Neris kind of closes his eyes a little bit and twitches his neck, almost like a little too far. He seems to be in some form of discomfort, but then kind of shakes his head and quietly again, reload and wait for my mark.
Back to the top of initiative, Fishman.
So yeah, he is just going to continue this spell, but he will have a look at Rue. And he did get hurt by that as well. Yeah, he's staying where he is, so he'll call out to Rue and say, Rue, I need your protection. It's obviously after me.
Nice and easy. Alton, your go.
Yeah, I think the little big creature I got kicked back a fair bit. And Alton would have also gotten like thrown like out of his stance a little bit by the ruse damage. And he would just like turn to Rue and be like, what was that? Is that spell always supposed to hurt us all?
Just silence.
Not really much he can do, really.
No.
I guess
It's
I guess he'll just he'll still have his guns out, ready just in case. But I guess he'll just hold the dodge action.
alright. Next is Utron's go.
So he mentioned something about him being a commander and him being responsible. And Fishman will reply, if that is true, then what is your goal here, Uthron? My capture, my death, or more needless massacre? I feel this connection, I feel this fate, and I've been searching for it for some time. And now that I've found it, I want nothing more than your destruction. But I'm curious, and I want to learn more. Is this where we are fated to end? Is this some kind of end to the story, or is there more?
You have no answers. I will seek you at another time.
As Utron dives beneath the waves.
Bye.
Tibble probably waits until it's extremely clear that this creature has definitely left before he calls for the sailing to slow. But once he does, he kind of looks around and assesses the crew that are standing. Does it look like anyone aside from the fishman and those that were surrounding Rue took damage?
It does not appear that way, no. Seems that the damage was mostly localized to the ship itself and to those affected by the strange animantic outburst from Rue.
And Neris would still be below deck?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Stand down. Smooth sailing. Regroup. And he does some basic directions for a lot of the junior crew, the necessary junior crew to assess some of the damage and some of the lower crew to assist with that, as he is aware that the boat did take damage and any patch repairs that we can do would be important. And then he looks to the people that are nearest to him, Fishman and Rue, and he's like, all right, Alton, would you be able to patch up Fishman for a moment?
Yes,
for the moment. Rue, can I have a quick word?
There's a very tall fog cloud that's just standing there. Has been trying to sort of catch up with what's going on. Yes, of course.
I'll debrief with the rest of you later. Tim, could you go down and let Neris and Care know that the cannons are no longer needed, and tell Neris I'll debrief with him when he's available?
Of course, sir.
Perfect. Thank you.
They do so.
And Tibble kind of pulls Rue aside just to, I guess, the sort of corridor that's near where his quarters and the war room are. So they're still sort of above deck and he can still see what's going on and he's still there if anyone needs him. But he has sort of pulled Rue off in private and he's like, Rue, what happened there?
Again, there's just this fog cloud that's heavily obscuring Rue because the relay lasts for 10 minutes. I'm not entirely sure. It was raining, and it was very dangerous. Am I really the person to be asking the questions to at this time? However...
Hi, Rue, I want to make sure you're okay. Fishman was determined, and I will have my discussions with him very shortly. But you're new to this crew, Rue, and I want to make sure you're safe.
I'm fine. No one got knocked overboard or fell into the water. So I suppose at the end of the day all is safe. And I suppose your medic is taking care of everyone else. I do apologize.
In the interest of being plain with you, and please know that I don't mean this in any offense. I just want to make sure it's something you're aware of, but you sparked out. Something happened. And I have noticed that sometimes your eyes get a bit funny, but I'm not super familiar with your kind, and I don't know if it's overstepping me mentioning it, if it's impolite, if it's just something that naturally happens, but it seems in moments of when there is a lot going on that you seem to lose yourself a little, I guess.
You can't see Rue. And then eventually... Yes, that has happened before. It shouldn't happen again.
You shouldn't be having to force yourself not to have reactions.
But sometimes if I have reactions, they have very bad consequences.
He kind of looks to where he believes Rue's face would be from these dimly glowing orbs, and he's like, I don't quite understand what's happening with you, and I'm not sure that you do either, but it's something we can work on together, okay?
Perhaps if you wish to know more, you should speak to your quartermaster. But I do apologize. I was struck with a memory, that's all. May I take your hand? The fog sort of swirls around, but the long, like, black claws stretch out.
Tibble reaches his spindly little mouse paw up.
And Rue tries to, like, focus really, really hard, and Tibble will feel sort of like a very bright surge of energy as Rue pumps in, like, 5 points of lay on hands.
He looks very touched by that, and he's like, I'm not going to tell you what you should do because I don't know the right answer, but I'm sure if you speak to them, they'll understand too. He kind of looks back at at both Fishman and Alton, who were also affected. And don't forget to write down how all of this made you feel. It's invigorating to read back on in, like, 6 months' time.
Invigorating. I would love to revisit this. You're so right. I might go and do that now, if that's possible. And check on Ham.
Take a moment. I really do need to get you a crew buddy for you to partner with. Apologies, it's been a busy morning, and I haven't really done my Usually Janice helps with the onboarding, so I'm a bit...
I guess the one that is gone. Thank you, Captain. I will perform better next time.
No such thing as performing better. There's just trying your best.
There's a bit of silence, and then the fog cloud slinks off very uncannily back down to below deck.
Tibble jogs over to where Fishman and Alton are.
Yeah, I think Alton would have been like trying to patch up his wounds. Can't give you any mechanical healing points, but he'd be looking over it at the moment. So, had a bit of a chat with that turtle dragon thing.
I did. I've been looking for something for a while. I believe I've just found it. His pose right now is he's got his back resting up against the mast, one leg fully outstretched with the other one half bent. And he's looking up to the sky to see if the storm is dissipating at all.
A little bit. It's still kind of going on, but it's on its tail end.
He's going to clutch his candle around, hanging around his neck. I've learnt a lot from this. I'm sorry you all had to go through with that. I appreciate that.
You're bloody welcome. I'm glad we all survived that. We did remarkably well. Oh, Captain.
How are we doing?
He'll live.
Do we need to send him to Sia?
What HP are you sitting on?
Bleeding a lot and also quite scorched.
Okay. Well, I could heal this up naturally. I could stitch the wounds. But it would probably be, if she has the spell slots remaining, quicker to send him to see her. Yes. Great reluctance.
That might be your next point of report, Fishman. But quick question. What happened? Are you okay? Did you know this was going to happen? What were those god-awful sounds you were making? Are we at risk? It's fine, obviously. I'm a little tense. My energy is a bit whatever right now. That was just a lot. You know that I understand different circumstances. I just want to understand why a turtle dragon the size of 8 of the Polaris tried to eat us.
It was a giant beast. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. I did not. It was after me.
Okay.
And I was speaking Draconic.
Okay. Do you know why it was after you?
He really struggles to say that yes. He'll sort of rest his head back as it bounces against the mast. Tears will start streaming from his eyes, but he doesn't look sad.
Tibble kind of looks to Alton. Alton would be able to tell that Tibble does not understand this interaction. Fishman, apologies, I don't quite understand. Bit
Man
blunt.
will probably just talk to himself. It will interrupt. Commander. He called me Commander. It seems so familiar, yet feels good. It brings me great sorrow. And I don't know why. And he'll let out like a bit of like a coughing laugh. And then he'll
Oh.
turn his head over to the captain and be like, his name was 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
And that's what we've got to go off, and that's okay. Do we want to kill 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧?
Yes. Him being near me without even seeing me, I felt like I was in some kind of trance. And the second I saw what it was, I knew I'd found what I've been looking for. And I've been looking for quite some time. And I don't know why I was looking for this. But when I saw 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, I wanted nothing but to have him dead. Whatever that is, I believe is a cause for a lot of my pain. I don't know why, but I know it is not good.
Well, we have a name that we can search, and we know that 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is after you, which means that eventually 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 will find his way back to us. So we know what to prepare for next time.
Probably at that point, actually, he'll probably go off into another, can stare ahead. Again, we'll probably have some tears pouring out, but this time not happy tears. I don't have much memories, but I have been with many crew. Have it written down. I know that I've been to lots of places, but I don't know why I have been to them. And I think I know why. Perhaps I flee.
Tibble, he reaches forward from where Fishman is slumped. He puts one of his front paws on his knee. No more running, lad.
I think I need some time. Quicker I get patched up, the better.
Go down to see her, lad.
Thank you, everyone. And yeah, he'll take his leave. He'll slump up.
I think Alison will probably walk with him.
Meanwhile, Neris, we haven't heard from you in the aftermath of the battle.
No. In fact, the only one who has heard from Naris would be Care. I believe it's just Care on the cannons. I think there was talk about other people coming down, but it was just Care. Is that correct?
There were other miscellaneous crew, but I don't think I specified anyone.
Perfect. The Naris is addressing the three of them that are there. He hasn't moved. His head is still cocked to the side. He's still kind of hunched over looking out one of the portholes. And he's just sort of giving orders, but still in that quieter, slower voice, but he's almost sure of himself. If the creature rises above the waves again, we will hold our fire until it has reached the apex of its leap. That will give us the most predictable firing target. If it comes close again, we will load the heavy shot from that crate over there. And I'm assuming Tim will come down at some stage.
Yeah. Captain wants to see you when you got time.
That will be all. Thank you very much. We will hold for a minute more.
Yeah, so Alton.
Yeah, he would just take Fishman down. As he'd walk, he'd be like, I just and I've been noticing it seems to me like there's maybe memories that you've lost that seem to be shades of them creeping through again, right?
Perhaps that is exactly what it is. I have dreams and nightmares constantly. That's all I thought they were.
See, well, there's in my medical experience, and yeah, well, that's not uncommon. When shitty things happen in the past, sometimes you forget them, and sometimes they only come up when you're asleep, or in little ways that don't seem to quite make any sense. I can't say I'm very well trained in, the more non-physical ills, but I've had a bit of experience with it.
You're very trained in giving them. I saw you shooting at that creature.
Oh,
It was
yes.
very impressive.
Oh, well, thank you. When I finally hit it.
Might I ask why you were attacking it? Was it captain's orders, or was it...
Well, if I'm up against impossible odds, I'm not just going to lay down and die.
That's why I like you, Alton.
I think we're similar in that way.
It's admirable.
Thanks. Although I do appreciate that you did end up turning to run, because it is always completely reasonable to run if you have to.
I had a goal with what I was doing, and it quickly became apparent that there was no chance. So I did what was in the best interest of the crew that I'm sworn into. I did what was best for perhaps another chance. But I'm not going to just lay down and die.
Of course. The right way to do it. And I'm sure maybe one day we'll be able to hunt that thing down and take it out forever. I guess it's a step in the right direction. Now you know exactly what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Right. All right. Well, I'll leave you in 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧's hands. But just reminding you, this is entirely natural, what's happening. To remember things, for it to be upsetting and everything. Maybe try to find someone who you can talk to about this. Don't spend too much time alone. That's a doctor's orders.
Funnily enough, the first thing I've been able to properly speak about this to, the thing that just attacked us.
It's a way of getting, right into it, isn't it?
But
In front of it.
aye, doctor. I'll go get attention, medical attention.
All right.
See that you do.
As soon as he gets discharged, he wants some alone time. And it's kind of like his little side goal is friend Ham. And usually no one goes near Ham. So it's kind of, to his knowledge, one of the quieter places to go to. So yeah, he'll go there and he wants to check on Ham.
Now, is
What
it
does he see?
likely that Rue is there with Ham at the time?
Rue would currently be there. Probably by this point the little fog cloud would have dissipated. But Ham's just kind of vibing. He's just chewing on something. Suspiciously like something that's been pilfered from the kitchen. But it's not something that would normally be edible. It looks like some kind of like soup, like a ladle or something like that has been stolen that has been deviously stolen in the pandemonium of the ship being attacked. And Rue kind of like will start a little bit as they see Fishman approaching. Just be like, oh, sorry for before. I mean, and they like kind of awkwardly lob an apple at Fishman from the distance.
Yeah, he'll definitely catch that. He's hungry. And yeah, he'll I want to say take a bite out of it, but he just eats it. It's gone. One bite. Rue, I guess I should have expected you to be here.
Apologies. Were you coming here for another reason?
I don't know. To be honest, I mainly just wanted to see Ham, but
Understandable. Ham is very
I'm
cool,
kind of-
as they say. Sorry, I interrupted. Please
this is
continue.
a pleasant surprise for let's say I'm feeling quite shaken right now. And I'm not quite thinking straight. That's why I've kind of come to a quiet place. But I'm happy to see both of you are okay.
I can vacate if you like, or I have an overabundance of experience in silence, if that's what you wish.
Please stay, Rue. You're a pleasure to talk to as always.
I appreciate that. Ham, you have a friend. You have a visitor. And this like very large brulette kind of like is still just like this like sound of like metal bending as they're gnawing on this like ladle, probably like turns this little pointed snout up towards where Fishman is. Perfect.
I was just looking to see if I had anything like disposable and metal in my inventory, but I don't. seems to be enjoying his snack as he'll approach Ham with an outstretched hand. Slowly inching forwards and attempting to pat Ham. His routine by this stage, I guess.
I love that.
So, okay, F D&D Beyond. Oh my god.
Can I assist Fishman? Because
Yeah.
I rolled a 2, so that's a 10.
no, it's
So,
alright. You can trust him, Ham.
Okay, so
And at advantage, I'm guessing.
Let me
with the-
specify. Not eat, just trust.
so this is much better. A dirty 20.
okay. So yes,
12.
yeah, you feel as if that bond is starting to grow.
There's a slight twitching of Ham's little sharky tail, as if he was going to wag it.
Fishman will like give off a big smile, and again probably do that cough laugh to himself. And then he'll say, "Rue,
Yes.
in a weird situation, perhaps you're a good person to share this with."
They kind of like lean their head closer, turning their little beaky head to one side.
I've done something wrong,
Done something wrong.
but I don't know what I've done.
Oh,
That beast was after me, that dragon. After me for something that I did. Something that me and my people did. And
the
it
guilt you do not remember.
called me commander.
You don't
Which-
recall.
I have seen glimpses of a battle, I have seen glimpses of a massacre. Center of it.
And you do not know what role you played in it.
I have no idea. But the name
Commander.
Commander scared that perhaps I have done something wrong. And I am the one responsible.
And Rue kind of like stretches out a long clawed hand to touch Fishman, like on the forearm or something. We are one and the same then. I too do not recall, and I believe I have hurt, and I have lived different lives before.
That does sound oddly familiar.
Yes. And
Perhaps
Rue,
you were a good person to share this with.
and Rue sort of like kind of like pushes out the arm blade for a moment and turns it so like the lamplight of like the hallway kind of catches it, and you see the words I believe it's Rue Thursday etched into it, etched into the blade. And it's like, my mentor believes I have lived, this is my 5th life currently, hence Friday. I do not recall, but I have had many dreams of a similar sense to how you describe yours. I believe we are perhaps in the same position, as strange as it may seem. And I understand how terrifying it must be to not know whether you are a good person or a very bad one. But perhaps the key to all this unsettled behavior and the feelings you are feeling is to discover what the truth of the core is, Commander.
Can I ask you one final thing?
Of course.
But I guess there's some reassurance. I did see what happened.
They kind of like incline their head downwards slightly.
I don't think there is a lot of help on the ship, but also the ship respects boundaries and the ship respects privacy. I've been on the ship for quite some time, and I've held a lot of baggage. But the crew is good enough to trust, forgive, and allow and respect your privacy. I've been dealing with let's call it a curse, for quite some time. I feel right at home on this crew. And from what I've read, I've been on many crew. The one I've stayed with longest. There must be a reason to that. Whatever it is, I hope you feel the same way.
I appreciate that, Fishman, Commander. I can certainly see that is the case. Perhaps there is a home to be found here after all, or at least a place of refuge for some. And I believe we can find a good point for all of us. If you need someone to speak to, or just silence, I am always happy to provide. And Ham as well, though he is not always as silent. He has a great deal many words to say.
Do you wake up scared? Do you wake up lonely, lost? I do.
It is difficult. I dream in a strange way. And fear is something I am still finding difficult to comprehend. But I do wake up lonely. And I do understand this. It is good to find out that someone else feels the same. And yet I feel that there are many others on board this ship who will also understand in a different way. Perhaps we can find our memories together somehow. Find out what sort of people we truly are.
Thank you, Will. And if you don't mind, maybe I might like some of that quiet time you spoke of.
Of course.
You're welcome to stay here with me.
Of course, I will set myself to silence mode. That is a little joke my mentor used to have. And then they kind of like make like a little like buzzing like noise, like when you like mute your phone.
And
then just kind of like hunch back.
yes. And on that note, I think we come to a close on this week's episode. It was a bit of a long one this week, but I think it was also very packed with some revelations and some hints towards what might be coming for some in future. Thank you everyone for listening, for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Fuck, I love playing D&D with you lot. Jesus Christ.
Fishman looks like this Shakespearean like Greek hero or something like that. It's crazy.
Right in the zone. He was
Yeah,
that was a big
absolutely.
moment for him.
Jeez. I'm so curious. There's so much information that just
Perhaps
What?
the realization that his dreams and the character he is in his dreams became reality.